Well, build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Quick Bangham, Sumo Matty, and we're heading back to Hampden, folks. Jamie, you're first up tonight. Hibs 3, Dundee United 1, or Dundee United 1, Hibs 3 to get its proper order. What was your thoughts on it?
A really good first half. I thought we put them to the sword. Scott Allen was excellent and well worthy of the start. Second half was a bit of I've no nails left. I'm just going to put it into that. It was a really shit second half. But also, the referee was diabolical for both teams, but they must be really raging at him with some really bad decisions, because before we scored the second, I thought he's going to dictate this game and we're going to probably go out because of bad decisions. However, it didn't fall on our path this time, which I'm thankful of, but it wasn't a brilliant performance, to be honest. A good first half, but the overall performance, I thought we kind of lost our way in midfield a wee bit. I'm just glad to be in the next round, to be perfectly honest. Glad to be back at Hampden, but it was a rough second half.
What do you think was the reason for that second half, Jamie?
I don't know. I know people were thinking about the lost a wee bit of shape. I don't know. I don't know if it was just like the game's won, we went in, with the late penalty, it's 3 now. They're not going to come back into it. But they did, and it's that they should have had that second goal. Take the penalty aside, but for me, what was Matt Macy doing? He should be just clearing Paul out the way. If that had went in, I think we probably would have went into extra time, because they were definitely in the ascendancy. Although we did have good chances. I thought McGuinness had, when he went through and had the shot, should have played it either side of him. Do that, and it's a goal. But nothing stuck up front for us either at all tonight. I couldn't even put Scott. I know Scotland got man of the match. I'm not really sure he was man of the match. Not to take that away from him, that he had a good game, but he's blown at his arse in the second half. And we just couldn't get forward, and I didn't think any of the subs that come on had made a wee bit of difference. Maybe Gogic made a couple of good challenges, but generally I thought James Scott looked well off the pace and all.
All right, Jimmy, you're up next. Maybe what was your take on the game?
Well, my take on the game was we went 1-0 up. We sort of, until we scored the second goal, that was probably Dundee United that had the ascendancy. We got the second goal. The game should be done and dusted. We got the third goal. The game should be dusted. Like Jamie says there, Craigie, we came in the second half, and it was just like, teams like Hibs should know that teams that are 3-0 down are going to come out and have a wee go. They've nothing to lose, have they? And we just let Dundee United have the opportunity to press Hibs. And hey, I'm not too sure about their second goal, but was it onside? Was it offside? I'll tell you what, we just sit there and we wait for teams to take us on. And other than that, distribution for Matt Macy's and his decision making's a bit suspect. Great shot stopper, don't get me wrong there, but his distribution, kick in, 9 times out of 10 it's out the park. Nisbet, I don't know what's the matter with Nisbet at the moment, whether he's lacking a goal. He's missing his big pal Dodge up front, without a doubt. He can't play himself up front, and that miss he had, could he have got that? Could he? He's just no, his attitude's no great, Matty. I'm not too sure. But listen, great performance. We won 3-1, 3-1. Sorry, we're through to the next round. Whoever we get, well, they need to play for 90 minutes. No, this 45 minutes, 3-0 up, cruise in, take the foot of the
45 minutes done us tonight, though.
Yes, it did. Yes. But listen, if Dundee United got that second goal, we're biting their fingernails again.
Oh, I'd arse was already going like a cigar
You
cutter.
know, so yeah, decent performance.
Dave, how about you? What was your thoughts?
I see we've got Rangers, by the way,
Oh, have we?
in the semi. I just announced, but that's an easy one then. No bother.
Good.
So first half, yeah, I thought some of our play was excellent in the first half. Middle three were great. Scott Allen was tremendous going forward. But again, it's the whole pros and cons of Scott Allen, unfortunately. I know he did some great defending in the first 10 minutes, but later on we talked about, I mentioned the shape earlier. The shape went to shit after about 25, 30 minutes where we're all over the shop. And you could see our middle three were doing far too much running, trying to cover the space that was being left by other players. And Boyle was partly to blame for that as well, because Boyle wasn't doing much defensively either. So again, the forward play was great for the first half. Second half was, as the guys have said, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, and I was actually really worried when Godjic came on, and I know we had the chat on the text earlier about him coming on, and people saying, "Oh no, don't start giving him a hard time." And he did a good job when he came on, to be honest, right? But my issue with him is you're trying to bring him on to replace Barrels, right? And it's a very different player, right? Godjic was fantastic for us last season, sitting in front of our front three and giving us that extra cover. When you try and play him in that middle three now, he just has to run around all over the place, and I didn't want him doing that, right? And tonight it worked all right. He got rid of the dead legs that were on the pitch, and he did a semi-decent job. But I think there's an issue there that with our starting middle three, we don't have somebody to come off the bench and play in that same way, right? And I think it's a conundrum with Scott Allen. I want Scott Allen to start because you see what he does going forward, right? But where do you play him? Because I don't think he is that wide left with a three behind the striker. I know it's worked. I know he's created chances. I know we've got goals and all the rest of it, right? But there isn't enough defensively from that. So there's work to be done about how you fit these players into the team, into the starting 11. I would love to see us going back to a back three again and doing something there. I don't want McGuinness to get moved out of that kind of number 10 role. I think he's fantastic there.
Yep.
I think it's a real waste if we somehow shove him out onto the left just to fit Allen in. So there's a lot of difficult decisions to be made by Jack about how we make the best use of the squad we've got now. But overall, we're through at the semi. Take that all day long. First half decent. Second half we clinged on a little bit. Although to say that, the last 15 minutes we were in pretty much control. I didn't see nothing happening after that. We did tend to calm down after they kind of had a right good go at us. But there's work to be done. There's work to be done. I wouldn't have brought Cadden on that left-hand side for Alan. Cadden can't play on the left. It doesn't work for me at all. He looked lost. I would have had Doig on. I said that in the chat. Just bring him on there. He's rapid, right? And he could provide the extra defensive side on that side as well. So, but there's options to look at moving forward.
Thank you. Leon, how about you? You've not been wrestling any dogs today, no?
I never. I dug
Good
back
man.
in and I shit my pants to be fair, but PTSD. First half we were clinical. Like obviously it was a bit of a soft penalty. It probably wasn't a penalty, but he go in front of the defender. So it was his right for me to go down when the challenge came in. I felt 3-0 up. I was like, I knew it was going to be hard for them to come out in the second half and get up to the levels again or get back and control the game. Dundee United were going to come at you. They're at home. They had to step up because they were nowhere near the level they can get to. So they had to step up. So it was always, I felt the second half was always going to sort of play out like that. I wasn't bothered. I wasn't worried. Even when the Pollock and even though it was offside, it was one of them that they can get called because maybe the way the margins were with it. I didn't feel like they were on top of us at times. There's a lot of long range efforts and things like that, but the one they cutting us open and behind that often. I think again, if I think Nisbet had taken his chance in the second half, could have been a totally different game again for the last 20 minutes. But It was just clinical. The first half was so clinical. We were playing some really good stuff. So I mean, some of the goals we scored, the football leading up to them was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But again with the Allen thing, try to shuffle the pack and that to get him in. What today, brilliant. He's a class act. But how do you fit him into a system that's going to work for the 90 minutes? This is the hard thing.
I wonder if it's can you see managers bring on a player like that when they're chasing the game? Right, so like we did on Saturday, we're 1-0 down, bring on Scott Allen, and before you can it, you're 2-1 up. The night you started him, is it the right way to do it? Start him, wait till we're 3-0 up, and then hook him, and then you go back to your normal shape again.
I would start him.
Just try to blow teams away.
I would always start him. I didn't want him coming on with 30 minutes to go.
He needs to go up to pace in the game. We were lucky on Saturday with me when he came on and some of the touches he done in the play. But like you say, you start him because you've got to get him up to play. You've got to get him up to the speed of the game as it goes. He will struggle if he's coming on as a sub. I think he'll struggle to get up to the pace at times. But it's just a hard journey. It's just such a hard journey. If you find the system for him, he's your first name on the team sheet. But it's finding the right system to suit.
Leon, when you seen him going back trying to tackle, and I'm afraid he didn't tackle. Hence the reason why he got the booking, and he was on a sticky wicket.
Definitely. When he got booked that early, I was worried because
Yeah.
he's being a forward player, a stupid wee tackle or a stupid something can easily been off the park. If it hurts off to him, he never got involved.
Yeah.
Maybe that was one of the reasons he had to come off as well. But obviously, his fitness as well, he had to come off. But I felt Gogic coming home was the right decision too. The way the game was gone, they were trying. Dundee United were trying to make it a battle. Hibs were trying to pass the ball, and they were like maybe getting Gogic on to sort of balance that out. But I thought he done well when he came on Gogic. But he's an area that he does his job in the right system. But if you put him in a different system, it's really awkward and different for him, I think.
Cool. What about you, Kaiser? What was your take on the game?
I think talking point of the night is definitely Scott Allen. I disagree with a couple of things there about defensively. I thought that unlike at the weekend there, he got a grip, he was tracking back. He pulled off a fucking stunning challenge in the box, I think, and I think honestly, I think we kind of spoke about on Quick Bang about him being hot and cold and that. If he can pull that off for 45 minutes, and we need to do whatever we need to do. Him on the left wing, he was brilliant. I think we've seen the benefit of playing the three guys behind the striker tonight. I thought it worked really well, and I think the only time that it kind of it went awry was maybe to do with fitness or maybe just to do with Hibs kind of dropping their intensity, and that seems to be where we start to invite problems onto ourselves. But honestly, Scott Allen was class tonight, absolutely class. And I thought defensively attacking, even with the yellow, he kind of stayed disciplined as he had with the role that he had on the wing. I thought he done really, really well. And he's finishing, he's just class. He was class tonight. And just hopefully, I think the thing with Scott Allen is that he can be consistent with it. And I think this is what we keep seeing with Scott Allen, is he's not consistent enough. And we've had 2 decent games at him, and hopefully he does start. There is a question there about where does he fit in, but as it stands now, keep him on the left wing. I think he's done brilliant on the left wing for 8 minutes. Hopefully he gets a bit more sharpness and a bit of fitness under his belt, and we've maybe got him for longer than 45, 50 minutes, and he's not blowing out his arse. But no, honestly, like Dundee, you looked at that tonight and you thought they were going to give us a bit of a game. They did in the second half, but brilliant. Come away from Dundee, got to Hampden 3-1 down, so absolutely over the moon. Second half, not really a lot to talk about there, but delighted with the first half and delighted we're through.
Do you think, based on how the referee played tonight, do you think that's us used up our decisions for the season and we're just going to get fuck all for the rest of the season?
I think Paul got a big fuck off slice of karma pie, and it's up there with things you love to see.
Spot on.
Aye, we'll take that.
Freeman should have been sent off and off for me. He had been booked and made the same challenge that Scott Allen made and got booked for it, and he made that really bad challenge on Stevenson, which he didn't even give us a foul. He made loads of bad challenges.
He done it as well. He done it right after it, and he never done none. But that's Colin at his best, though.
Aye, or at his worst. John
Kaiser, no issue with Scotty Allen with their goal. Then do you know? I think that for me that came through him no tracking his run.
Aye, but the big difference with Saturday, where he was just no tracking at all, there was no defensive side to him on Saturday, and I think tonight I think he's took that on board. He's had a bit of criticism there about tracking back and trying to block runs, and I thought you seen that tonight, whereas you didn't see that at the weekend.
Aye.
John, how about you? How did you find the game, mate? Now you're not causing trouble in my WhatsApp group.
I thought we played really well the first half. You made a couple of changes, brought in Stevenson and Scott Allen, and we played really well. The only change I would have made to the starting 11 is I'd have put Nisbet to the bench because his forms took a bit of a dip just now. The way Scott Allen and Boy were running down the wing, you've got McGuinness in the middle. I think Jimmy Gullen would have suited that game tonight. A young player, fast, you'll run about, getting the service that he was going to be getting off the players behind him. I thought that was a good opportunity for him to come in and stake a claim to get a first team game. I just think Nisbet's just going off the boil a wee bit. But played really well. Again, defensively, when Dundee United did put us under pressure, we seemed to cope well. We're putting in the tackles, we're winning the ball back. So I was really impressed. The second half, it went a wee bit sour a wee bit. Dundee United came onto a game a wee bit. But again, I feel we just kind of soaked up the pressure. We handled it better than what we would do before. Do
you think it was Hibs no playing as well, or Dundee United chucking everything at us in the second half that made the difference?
I think Dundee United going for it. They came out and they just started chucking everything at us. They tried to put us under pressure to get us to break. They got a goal. Their second goal, again, there's a big question mark over it. Was it not? If they got that, then you'd have seen how our nerves would have held out. Would have Hibs bottled it, or would we have kept it and kept on going? But I feel this year, in the games that I've seen and watched and been to, we seem to be a lot more comfortable on the ball. We're winning challenges. As before, if Dundee United has scored, chances are we'd have probably bottled that and drew 3-3. Maybe got beaten penalties. But I feel this year under Jack Ross, he's made the right changes tonight, and I feel that going forward, we're good. As for Gogic, he was good last year, but to me, I think he's a bit of a bomb scare. He cost us a couple of goals against Motherwell. He's a wee bit of a liability. Maybe that's just the formation that Jack Ross is setting up, playing attacking football. But I just feel that Gogic shouldn't be anywhere near the first team.
How do you think he did when he came on, John?
Like a headless chicken running in the field, I think. He's just... he didn't really do much for me.
This is Jack Ross's get out. So, for instance, we were 2-1 up there on Saturday, and his get out as he puts Gogic in to protect that 2-1 lead. He brought him on against Hearts, the 0-0, to break their midfield up. So there's two scenarios there. He's trying to defend the 2-1, and then the 0-0 he's trying to stop their midfield for playing, which he did. So he's in a no-win situation. The lad,
he doesn't play him like that anymore. That's what he did when we played the back three and all the rest of it. He would sit in front of there, right? If you see when he comes on now, he's not that player anymore. He's running all over the pitch. At times he's up in their box.
Yes.
Right? So, Jack's telling him to play a very different game. So you have to just accept that and say that it's fresh legs, and that's it.
Think of that tiny way. He had two shots on himself, didn't he? Kind of came close to scoring a couple of times. And then the night, I think Gogic's first involvement was to play a big diagonal pass,
straight to Boyle.
And then he was involved in the attack a bit further on. I thought he was all right when he came on to be.
I agree. I agree.
To be fair.
We've said before, we've talked before in Quick Bang about how Joe Neal can play a good ball. I'm more comfortable with Neal playing like that than I have Gogic. He's made a couple of mistakes this year and he's put the fear in me. Jack Ross is playing the
ball player and hatchet player, different game.
He's different tactics. Ross is setting us up to be a wee bit different this year. I just don't think there's really a position now for Gogic.
I think when we're playing against the Old Firm, we're going to need Gogic. I think if we're playing against anybody that's tasty. Aye, well,
From-
formerly known as the old firm. But I think you need a player like Gogic when we're coming against class, and I think that's what's getting missed week in, week out, who we're playing now. I think he's got a difficult job today in the middle of the park, but you seen him when he came on. He broke up the midfield, and that's what he's here today. He is doing a bit of a different role, but he was class when he came on tonight. So I think there's definitely a place for him in the team.
Cool. Raymond, last but not least, what were your views on the game?
Where to start? A great result, brilliant. It was a weird one because we could have really probably won that 4-1, but equally it could have well been sitting watching penalties there. In fact, if you're a Dundee United supporter, you're arguing you should be watching penalties. Let's face it, their goal was onside. We should never have had a penalty. Different game altogether. But taking the positives from it, fantastic in the periods in the game when we were going forward, playing well, really good, like really attractive football. Second half, we were always going to come under the cosh because they want to stay in the cup. They're not there to let us go and beat them by 4 or 5 goals. The negatives I would take from that is we knew that was going to happen. We knew we were going under pressure. So therefore, when we break, we have to break effectively, quickly, with a really high tempo of passing and getting that ball out to the forward players, be that Boyle or be that Nisbet. There was a hesitancy in breaking when we were under that pressure. There was times where the ball was maybe played sideways, or the ball wasn't just put forward quick enough to let the guys run onto it. It's not much of a complaint, but it's if you're wanting me to give negatives and positives, that's the two. I would say Macy's distribution could be better. His shot stopping is great. We've been through this. We're just going round the houses here. I'm just repeating what's already been said. I would take issue with Gogic. Gogic had a great game when he came on. He does a great job for us, and as Dave says, he's playing a different role than he was from last season. He was great last season. We all loved him because he did a fantastic job of breaking up play and giving it to the ball players. This time he's been asked to run around to do that job, and he's more likely to find himself further up the pitch. He's most definitely got something to offer to that team, and a lot of it is very, very positive. I've been on here, I've given him a hard time for some of his slack passing. I think it was against Dundee. 1 game or 2 games does not make a bad player. Something about swallows in summer, something like that.
Well, it's more or less time to wrap up. I just wanted to kind of give a wee word to Rob McLean on commentary tonight. So the commentator was doing my head in because they were desperate for Dundee United to score. But he did drop in a line as he was naming players as they passed the ball to each other. And I think it was Paulett, Fox, Clark that he dropped in, which was a quality bit of commentary. Jamie, you've got your hand up there, mate. You want to come in?
Can I just give a big shout out to Stephen Kagan for one of the worst pieces of commentary, stating that Colin had made a bad mistake in giving us a penalty, and maybe he'll try and even it up because he knows he made a mistake. Saying that live on telly, what a fud.
But by the way, the penalty, right? So I've watched it a few times.
Oh, what? It's a penalty.
I can't remember. Like, I'm not sure.
Reynolds got the touch before McGinn got anywhere near it. McGinn didn't even touch the ball.
But he definitely, McGinn's got his foot. He'd be given, see if it's on the touchline, the ball's about to go in for a throw in. McGinn's getting the free kick for it.
Why?
So
it's not a penalty. He's never
very soft to take it.
Has to have touched it, what, it'd be a penalty. He's not touched it.
Never a penalty.
Can I say the last thing on what Raymond was saying? He's quite rightly. Gogic had more. He had more 90 minutes than him last year than he has this year. He's came on as substitute more this year to try and stop their forward. So that's a difference. You're right, Raymond. It's a completely and Leon, completely different scenario. He's coming on to stop the game. Their attackers attacking. Last year he was on for 90 minutes and it's a different game. So yes,
People are getting on his back simply
Yeah.
because, not simply because, but one of the main reasons is that Jake Doyle-Hayes has been such a fantastic signing for us and he's played so well.
yes,
So the comparison is being made with him, but they've been asked to play two different roles. Not completely different roles, but dissimilar roles. So they're basically saying, well, you know, Jake Doyle-Hayes is doing this great job. Gogic can't do that. It doesn't matter. They're being asked to do two different things. Being asked to play in a 2 or a 1 in front of the 3. It's a different thing.
yeah.
He'll give Gogic a hard time, but he'll not get a new contract.
So,
Matty, I know you want to wrap up, but
aye.
just I'm getting the feeling that Nisbet is starting to get a bit of a hard time, whether it be on the forums or Twitter and all the rest of it, right? I don't know what people are expecting when you're playing as a sole striker with a 3
Absolutely.
behind.
A
Right?
goal.
For me, he's doing a great job. See that when they're saying he missed the night. He never missed it. Right? It was like it was about a foot in front of him. Right? He never missed it. Right? So his job is to try and hold on to the ball and bring the 3 in, or the 3 to create behind him and give him chances. How many chances is he actually missing right now? I've not seen him missing many chances. Right? We're playing a different formation. Yes, it looks like he gets more on the ball when we play 2 up top. But if we play 2 up top, then you can't play that 3 behind. And it was the 3 behind that created the wonderful, beautiful football that everybody was getting excited about in the first half. So, you know, you've got to measure that up. For me, he's not had a bad season. He's not had a bad start to the season. He's doing everything that's asked of him. And it's a striker's not just about scoring goals. And sometimes people need to realise that and watch the game a bit more rather than just saying, oh, he's missed that, he's missed that.
Absolutely.
Right?
And one of the other things as well is because he's not played as part of a 2, he's dropping deeper to get the ball on occasion, which then leaves, when we do break, means that the forward player isn't in the box to receive the ball. But that's up to our midfielders 3 to accommodate that, to allow him to drop back and to push wider into the box.
Yep.
Right, who we getting in the final?
Well,
St.
Hobart
Johnston.
Johnston.
Johnson, eh?
It's going to be
Celtic are
Johnson. It's
pish.
going to be a goal at the back post, isn't it?
Right, that's all we've got time for. We'll be back on Sunday. I'll love to see some of you guys back on Sunday after the St Johnstone game, fun enough, to talk about how that goes, hopefully discuss another win. By the way, some win percentage Jack Ross is racking up to now.
Mental.
He's not good enough though.
Mental.
No, crazy.
One game away from Ross.
Stendhal's getting sacked at Nancy. Jack Ross is doing so well at Hibs. It was a total moment. Hibs getting him in. Hearts trying to get him in as well. And the way the 2 clubs have went is mental. Absolutely mental.
And he
Two
never
different
had his white
directions.
trainers on the day either. There you go.
Aye, there you
Never.
Put the black brogues on.
Nah, but
He's learning. Good lad.
That's it.
We've got so many positives just now. So many positives. The way the
Yes.
club's going just now, it's going
Yes.
forward, it's going onward, it's going upward.
A lot of Hibs fans on there
And-
accepting it because
And yet, I can still hear them. They're still
Aye,
there.
they
But,
love the negatives,
Jack
they
Ross
love the
is shite.
negatives.
Hibs are shite. This isn't good enough. It's all mediocre. Jesus Christ. Boys, I watched this team in the 80s and the 90s. Trust me. Trust me. These are the golden uplands that we were promised from Brexit.
And
That's
so
it.
damn it.
second in
that.
the league in a cup semi-final. Can't argue with it. Right.
cannot argue.
Thanks very much for your time, guys. On that note, we'll catch you next time.
County line I pledged upon. Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.